local content sports programs across the country. Follow us on our Facebook page, YouTube, Instagram, or better still, on our app on Google or Play Store. For business purposes, you can contact us on these numbers. Intel Sports will remain Liberia's exclusive and best sports television station.
Good morning, pleasant. Welcome to this Tuesday morning presentation of the program Sports Extra Live here on Intersports. Today is the 23 days of the month of September, just 7 days till we enter October. So we must be grateful to God. He take us from the 1st of January to the 23rd of September. It's something that many wish to see this day, but fortunately they could. But God made us to see this day. We must be grateful. Thanks to you so much for joining us. Welcome to this Tuesday presentation. My name is Edwin Batafoyan. The good thing about this Tuesday morning presentation, we will have two of Liberia's outstanding sports journalists in person of Tomion Kennedy and Eric Collins. Collins and Tomion will be my guest analysts as we dive into the chances of the possibility of Liberian clubs reaching to the next round of the CAF Champions League qualifiers and the CAF Confederation Cup. Blackman Warrior NFC Cotonou of Benin settled to a goalless draw on Sunday at the SKD Sports Stadium in Pinzo City. Just before Sunday showdown on Saturday, we saw the biggest stand-up in Liberian football history when it comes to the Liberian teams participating in CAF qualifiers, where FC Fasel were held at home by Algerian champions MC Urger in the first leg. The return legs of these two matches are over the weekend, Saturday and Sunday. One will be played in Porto Novo, Benin, and the other will be played in Algeria, the capital city of the North African giants. Well, on that note, we will be quizzing these two journalists who will tell us the chances, the possibility, what they think were lacking in the first leg between Blackman Warrior and that of FC Cotonou of Benin, or the first leg involving MC Orger and FC Fasel. We will look at the changes area. What were those changes that these two coaches made that they materialized, that the Liberian sides refused to score the goal in these two fetches? These are things we will be looking at. And our next talking point will also be the decision made by the LFA president, Mustafa Raji, to sit around the field and witness the CAF Champions League match involving Fasel and MC Ojo on Saturday. And on Sunday, he was spotted at the VVIP watching Blackman Warrior and Cotonou FC of Benin. The questions that I will be asking my fellow media colleagues, Eric and Kennedy, is: was the decision made by the LFA president by himself, or was the LFA president denied VVIP ticket to Fasel game, or did the organizer present a VVIP ticket to the president and choose to sit in the open stands and watch the game? Is the bigger question. These are things we need to look at. And we will conclude on Liberia defeat to Sierra Leone 2-0 on Sunday at the SKD practice pitch in the women's WAFU under 20. That's under 17. Pardon me. That's under 17, not under 20. And we played 2 matches so far, and we got defeated in all 2. So these are things we'll be looking at. Don't go away, stay with us. We'll take this break. As we come on, we joined our guest analyst as we begin this discussion. I'm Edwin Batterfriend. Stay with us. Don't go away. Let's get this break to be right back.
Sports, Liberia's biggest and professional sports television station, is now located at GSA and Rehab Drive in Painesville. Intel Sports is 100% Liberian owned. It is an exclusive sports platform that provides extensive and quality local content sports programs across the country. Follow us on our Facebook page, YouTube, Instagram, or better still, on our app on Google or Play Store. For business purposes, you can contact us on these numbers. Intel Sports will remain Liberia's exclusive and best sports television station. Mary Sports provides you with the opportunity to interact directly with the stakeholders in the sector, the players, teams, including technicians. It comes your way once a week, every Wednesday from 1 to 2 p.m. with a repeat on Thursday at 2 p.m. Midway Sports highlights major happenings and trending news, as well as captivating action and stories, all in the sector. The exclusive sports show is a 1-hour conversation with policymakers, stakeholders, and direct actors in the sporting sector. The exclusive sports show brings you face to face with those who make the news in the sporting sector of Liberia. Join your host, Julius Compton, every Thursday from 1 to 2 p.m. for the program, The Exclusive Sports Show, live and direct on Intel Sports. During the live conversation, the analysis and discussions with the stakeholders, players, and fans, live and direct on Intel Sports. Weekend Wrap comes your way every Saturday from 10 to 12 midday. Join your presenters, Elijah Pine and Edwin Batafoyen, live and exclusive on Intel Sports.
So happy. You can see how after they are playing SKD. I'm so
feeling so happy about the game. And then when we come back into the game, you don't.
no, the game was fun. Apart from that, see, they tell Reverend Aspire out again. The game was fun. They said Reverend, you know the game. The game was fun. We went to equal game. But I win at this point.
Thank you so much for joining us. As soon as we get signal from our guest analyst, Tomia Kennedy is already on the call, and we're hoping to be joined by Eric Collins, and then we get the ball rolling. But it's going to be a really interesting discussion that you can just afford to miss them, because every one of us were at the stadium on Saturday and Sunday. We witnessed what unfolded, especially the match involving Facile and Mercy Ojo, looking at the formation play by Facile and that of Blackman Warrior. There were also rumors that we heard on late Sunday evening that essentially the head coach of Blackman Warrior resigned. But we saw a footage on the internet just 2 hours ago, just before the show. I saw the coach with the players at the Roberts International Airport in Magibi County. They are heading to Benin as we speak, the first batch, and they will be joined by the second batch of our players that will also be heading to that area. And Labrensa will pray that an away goal will be very important for us, that we all can hope on. If the match get a 1-1 draw in Benin, Blackman Warrior will be through, and if the match draw 1-1 with MC Order, Facile FC will be through to the next round. So it's gonna be a really, really good day, and I don't want you to miss the discussion. Yeah, I don't want you to miss it. I just hope and pray that two fellas we up here or Clarence Dodo, one of them can just give me a cold bottle of water so that we can vap into this discussion together, because there are a lot of things we need to look at. We need to look at it from the right side, the left side, from behind, from the front. We need to look at it from all over. It's going to be a very, very interactive discussion. There are a few things that we will also be talking about and making recommendations to Liberian clubs that will be participating. You know, the issue of home advantage is very essential, right? Facile had a very good turn up for that match, and my biggest question is this: are they supporters? Are they going with Facile to Algeria? Will they be in order to put the team to victory? Are they ready, or probably some of them will not be traveling, or what? So these are things we need to look at. Now the team heading to Algeria, they're already on their way. What would the supporters do? We saw the support of Algeria coming to Liberia. They were singing, you know, celebrating. Even after their goalless draw, they still pull up the needed result. They needed to put up. So we will be hoping to see our Liberian brothers who are supporting FC Fasel getting a ticket. At least maybe 100 or 150 supporters can go to Oja, put the club to get the needed result. But I've been told that MC Ojo is in a transitional process, so the fixture is still open, and in order for Fasel to be eliminated, MC Ojo will have to get a win. But if they get to a 0-0 draw, we have to a 30 minutes extra time. After the extra time, and we can get it in that will. So let's get this urgent break to be right back.
Intel Sports, Liberia's biggest and professional sports television station, is now located at GSA and Rehab Drive in Painesville. Intel Sports is 100% Liberian owned. It is an exclusive sports platform that provides extensive and quality local content sports programs across the country. Follow us on our Facebook page, YouTube, Instagram, or better still, on our app on Google or Play Store. For business purposes, you can contact us on these numbers. Intel Sports will remain Liberia's exclusive and best sports television station.
Thank you so much for joining us. All of our guest analysts are now live with us from their respective location. Let's join them and get the ball rolling. Can we just get them on so we can get started? I've been told that Eric is ready. Okay, I'm seeing Eric Collins and Mr. Kennedy is also there. Yeah, you know, Eric is a real definition of soup. You see the guy we had, gentlemen, do the hat. Gentlemen, good morning. Welcome to Intel Sports.
So, good morning, Edwin, and let me say good morning to all of your followers and viewers. It's good being on Intel Sports, and it's also good making my debut this morning.
Oh wow, that's great. I hope that you can make the in-studio debut in subsequent time.
We're open to that.
Yeah.
Anytime.
Eric, good morning. Welcome to Intel Sports.
Yes, let me say good morning now, Edwin. Good morning to the Intel Sports family. Good morning to Liberians in general, and also good morning to my brother Tommy. It's good to join you this morning on the platform to talk about Liberian football. It's always a pleasure, and I'm grateful to be here.
And I'm also grateful to you guys for accepting our late invitation. I think it shows more unity in the sporting area. To you, Torment, I really appreciate, and to you, Eric, I appreciate. I hope that we can have this more and more in order to keep talking about these sporting activities in our country.
Yeah, like I said, I'm open. Like Eric, most often I call him. He's always willing to appear once it comes to sports. So yes, we're open to commitment for, expressing ourselves and giving our 1 cent advice or opinions on critical issues when it comes to this country.
Directly. I hope that you can call me over to that Butcher Radio. Yeah, the other time I saw Ire was going there. Ire didn't call me too bad. Yeah, I really felt disappointed that time.
But the last time I called you, you were quite busy.
Yeah.
So I could not happy that time. But I mean, I always do this once the national team is playing. I always take upon my time to invite other sports journalists to join me and talk exclusively about the national team.
Good, gentlemen. I'd like to say good morning again. Officially welcome you guys to the program, Sports Extra. There are a lot of things in the corridor. I want us to look at them bit by bit. Firstly, let's look at FC Fasel versus MC Ojo on Saturday. To you, Eric, what is your own take on that first leg match involving MC Ojo and FC Fasel?
Yeah, please come again, I beg.
Your take on the match involving MC Ojo and FC Fasel, the first leg at the SKD on Saturday.
All right. So again, I would like to say thanks for getting me here on the platform today and to share my thoughts on the just ended CAF Champions League and CAF Confederation Cup preliminary round qualifiers game that were played in Liberia over the weekend. So the first thing I would like to start with the both teams in terms of preparation. You'll all be aware that this tournament is an international tournament, and in most cases, all of the clubs that participate in the tournaments are just from their respective leagues in Africa. And so most often going to international competitions requires a whole lot of preparations from your end as a club. We are going to represent not just your institution, but the league you are representing in your country. So we follow up all through the process, and we saw, I think, SC Fasel in terms of preparation, they prepare adequately. The team left from here to Egypt for a preseason camp, and a couple of foreign players too were introduced to the squad as a way of beefing up the squad. The introduction of a coach who joined the team, and they went to Egypt. We saw over time how they prepare. Most especially, they were going against a club. So it was important that the club decided to take the preseason camp to the northern part of Africa, specifically Egypt, which is now far from Algeria, where they have the similar style of play, same weather and other things. I think that preparation was timely and in the right direction. And we saw FC Fasel during the preseason, couple of friendly matches in Egypt, how they play against top clubs. We saw the result. So that speaks to the level of significant preparation. Unlike Blackman Warrior, we saw little or not from the end of Blackman Warrior in terms of preparation. And a club that is going to a major competition to have lost most of the key players, some of them signed professional contracts. And one of the players, Austin defender Jai Yanfor, left for the United States of America. We think that wasn't of a plus for them, especially going to a competition of such that requires experience. It requires a kind of stronger team. And disappointingly, most of the players that they earmarked at the time to join the team as a way of beefing up the squad, they did not fit within the time regulation to have those players registered. So as a matter of fact, they have to use what we call a completely local squad that wasn't ready up to task. But howbeit, yes, they managed to secure a goalless draw at home, which wasn't that bad as a team of the level of preparation that we saw over time. But I would like to begin with SC Fasel. Again, I would like to commend the CEO of SC Fasel, Mr. Kassier Kwa, his technical staffs, the players, and everybody for at least reawakening the spirit of Liberian football. And I say this to mean that all of us saw Fasel, not just the preparation in Egypt, but on grounds, in the absence of the team, we saw a kind of mass mobilization from the team, the appointment of prominent influence in Liberia, specifically from the entertainment sector, that were around boosting the morale of the team, living from one community to another, mobilizing to ensure that the fans can turn us in number. Because when you are playing at home, one of the advantages always in football game is the support of huge fan base. And that's why Fasel decided to capitalize on. If you notice, you will see that it was the first of its kind in the history of Liberian football, especially in a CAF qualifier, to see a very huge attendance, fans outside of the stadiums. Hours before the game, you saw the momentum, the build-up, and I think that was very welcoming. And if other clubs can start to follow suit in that direction, it's going to be good for Liberian football. Now, going to the game itself, I think if you saw Facile in terms of play, I predicted that on the field and took a couple of colleagues. That team that I saw from SC Facile, for the next 2 to 3, they're going to dominate the Liberian League. Arguably, the players have grown mentally, they have grown tactically in terms of their awareness, in terms of their willingness. You can see the test, the desire in the players that they are really willing to compete. They want to play football. And that is welcoming. Playing against a team like MC Alger, we all know they are one of the giants in Africa. At least to talk about their league, they have been to several CAF competitions, been to the group stage. In Africa, they have been known as one of the giants. We know their history. The last edition against our champions, we saw how they eliminated our champions. So I expected a very tougher encounter with FC Facile. Everybody could attest that we never expected it to be a free ride for Facile, taking into consideration that the team they are playing against an experienced team, an experienced coach who understands African football over the years. One thing I observed, Facile had an excellent run all through that game. But I think a mistake I observed slightly from the part of the coach was his failure to introduce a creative midfielder in that game. If you follow Facile all through the starting 11, the guys were excellent in their roles. The left back, who was his first time his introduction to international football. Imagine that left back came from Nima Kwado, just playing for Nima Kwado in the second league, signed by SC Facile at that level. He played excellently well. The most effective player for SC Facile that day was the right back, who was playing the right back, the Moroccan. You have the defense. You saw the organization. Tatos Ye, Josepha Matos, excellent. You saw Ahmed Savage, yes, excellent in the goal pole. The combination of Theo and that of Josiah C.A., excellent. Yes, you have the striking force, but Facile really lacked a creative midfielder in that game who are giving what we call a flow or 2 passes. So if you follow the game, you will notice that most of Facile chances that they had on goal came from either the right or the left wing. Most of the attempts that they made to their opponent's heart, it came from the right and the left wing because they lack the creativity in the center. Josiah C.A., Theo Nimlin, those guys are box-to-box midfielder. They have the ability to press. They can win the ball. Yes, they have passing ability, but not the kind of 2 passes that we know, the kind of long-range passes. So Facile actually lacked that all through the game. So you notice that, yeah, they found it difficult to actually penetrate through the opponent's defense because you never had the kind of creative midfielder who could have done that. And I expected the coach to have introduced Zach Kanga, who is the only kind that we know within that team. If you have 2 defensive midfielders like Theo and Josiah C.A., they are very good, they can work. So there's no need you build up with a lot of defensive midfielders. Bring somebody creative like Zach Ryan Kwenga that we all know, who with his experience, Zach has played several years also at Liberia. He played for the national team, came back in country. I don't think that game was a big game for Zach. Arguably, the game against MC Alger was never a big game for Zach Kwenga with his experience that we all know. Zach would have put the difference in that center. You could have been the one few of those passes that we have created the chances. A lot of people were complaining on the strikers. I don't think SC Facile or problem is with the strikers. If you notice the striker from Benin, that striker Ayub, he's very good. Ezekiel Kun, yes, he lacked the experience, but we saw him in that game. He put on his foot. He's kind of fighting striker. Even Mark Pay, where you have the strikers in the team and you're not having the kind of midfielder to provide the passes for the ball to reach up the striker, it becomes difficult for them to finish. So you have the only side that was really effective for SC Facile was the red wing, where you have the red back. Most often you saw him going, coming, providing assists, laying out in front of the opponent's defense. And Facile did not capitalize on that. If they knew that they already had to come on the red wing, play them continuously because that's the most effective team during that game. And they weren't that they go into the play because they were very careful. First in the way, they never wanted to concede against their opponent because they knew the strength of SC Facile. The coach admitted that during the post-match press conference. He followed Facile. Facile went to Egypt. He saw Facile playing against a couple of big clubs from Egypt. Tanzania, Iraq, and other places. So he knew the strength of his opponent. So you saw then they cooled the tempo of the play, and they were forcing FC Fasel to play the way they were. So they were trying, like they were dictating for FC Fasel. And FC Fasel I got to decide how they should play the game. And that's why I think the coach made a mistake. So since you noticed that you had an opponent, yes, they were experienced, not being that aggressive, you needed to introduce somebody that's Zakranga in that game who could have helped to do some elimination in the center, provide some of the true passes for the wingers. Dayton, you saw Dayton. Dayton was impressive, making some moves from the wing.
Yes.
But because in the center, the creativity was lacking in the center. The center just had a combination of box-to-box midfielders. And those box-to-box midfielders could not provide the passes that we all know or we needed to have given FC Fasel a goal in that game. However, entire team play, all of the department were effective. We saw the level of coordination. You could see the improvement in FC Fasel play. It speaks to the fact that the time the team making Egypt, it wasn't wasted. That time it yielded significant improvement.
Okay, thank you. Let's get to Kennedy. Are you there? Kennedy, you getting me?
Yes, so I think I was having some network issue, but I'm getting you now.
Okay. You listen to Eric, his portion of analysis from Blackman Warrior game to Fasel game, where he think the teams were lacking. According to Eric, there were no creative midfielder like Zara Henkringer who will give these kind of killer passes, long passes, that the wingers, the attacker will come from the middle and to just hit and pull, get the goal. Eric said that Fasel were forced by the visitors to that in which they want the host to play. But you as a journalist who were at the media tribute, what's your own take on these two matches involving Blackman Warrior, Cotonou FC on Sunday, Fasel and MC Ojo on Saturday?
Well, so let's start with the Fasel's game on Saturday. I've said this times without numbers that we are yet to have a creative midfielder. The kind of midfielder that we'll see like Pedri, like Andrew Iniesta, like you get other European countries and all that. So the kind of midfielder to distribute football is something that we've not seen in a long time. And I don't know who's ready to take up that responsibility to actually push from the midfield. But let's start from the goalkeeping department of FC Fasel. I think coach needs to talk more to the goalkeeper. Savage is a good goalkeeper. He has the height. He shoots well. He knows how to pass. He knows when how to pass. But one thing that Savage lacks is the urgency. Savage, in a game that you play against MC Ojo, when you play on home soil, we did not see that hunger. We did not see that thirst from Ahmed Savage. And every time the ball is in the defense of FC Fasel, before the ball leaves the defense to go up to either the midfielder or probably those playing the right and left back, it takes time. And I think at some point the ref had to caution him, not with a card, but the ref had to talk to Ahmed Savage, the waste of time. So I think Ahmed needs to be talked to when it comes to, the form and manner in which he operates when it comes to that goalkeeping department. So for the defense to admit to you, I think FC Fasel had a very good game defensively. The likes of Josepha Mato, since Josepha Mato came into the limelight, he's been an extraordinary defender. He's been somebody. He's the kind of defender who's very difficult to dribble past. He's very tactical, very much tactical, and that pairing in that defense with Tatos, I think was a very good pairing. Where I had some little issue with the defense was the guy playing the left back. I think he was a little bit slow, and he was not too tactical in that end. But my best player in the entire Fasel game was the right back, the Moroccan. I think he proved himself. He showed that defenders got to do more just defending. So if you watch, he reminded me of George Johnson, who normally plays the right back for Liberia. That kind of player, especially going to these kinds of competition, you want to look at. For the midfield, yes, I agree with Eric. You had the legs of the captain who was playing from Theo Nimla, who was playing from that midfield. You also had Sasie was also playing for that midfield. You had Ayub, who was also playing for that midfield. Defensively, they were good, but to attack was something very difficult for these players. And with the level of preparation that we saw in Egypt, and many thanks to the CEO of FC Fasel, he's been doing a wonderful job making sure that he spends out of the morning to get the team prepared for these kinds of competition. It's going to be sad if it's going to be very sad if FC Fasel does not qualify to the next round of this competition, which I'm not praying for, because the chief executive officer of FC Fasel did extremely well. Like Eric said, the mentality. Let's talk about the foreign players that are signed by FC Fasel. Let's look at the mentality of the local players on that FC Fasel team. Every time when we talk, I always tell people that national team does not make players. Players come from the different clubs. The mentality they come with from the club is what they take to the national team. National team coaches do not have the luxuries of time to instill into these players disciplines, their do's and don'ts, what they're supposed to do, what they're not supposed to do as players. So all these things are instilled from the club team level. That is why you see even in Europe, but let's come to Africa, Nigeria, like most of the players playing outside of the country. Let's go to Ghana and all that. They bring these players because they've gotten the discipline from the clubs. So looking at this current FC Fasel team with the local based players are there, you can determine, you can make a determine that the coach has been doing extremely well for those local lads. If you see this coach, he looks very aggressive. I saw him on the touchline. I saw what he was doing on the touchline. He looked very aggressive. He means it when he says that I need you as a defender or I need you as a midfielder to produce this. This is what I want you to do. So relatively, those players were doing extremely well in the different departments. The only thing that we saw that was lacking is that kind of offensive player, that kind of midfielder who's going to pass the ball in the final third. That's what we saw lacking in that entire team. Defensively, like I said, they were correct and they were very excellent. Rather, for the midfield component, they were good, but that kind of creative attacking midfielder is what we saw lacking. That midfielder that's going to play the ball in the final third. Now, the attackers are not the problem, specifically strikers. The strikers of Fasel are not the problem. When the ball is not going to the strikers, definitely they're not going to produce. So the striker going to be in that game like he's some furniture, except he comes way down to get ball to take it back to the defense and to his opponent defense. You're not going to get anything better from that striker. You're going to make him to get tired more. So once the ball is going, you're going to expect it. Now, one thing that I saw that's lacking from FC Fasel team is from the left wing. I think FC Fasel needs, except maybe they have and they're part of the players who were injured according to the coach. But FC Fasel, yes, Delton is very good. He's been exceptional since he got into the limelight. He's been very much exceptional. He's been doing extremely well. But I think FC Fasel needs another player like Delton. Because trust me, FC Fasel trip to Algeria, Delton going to be looked at. Delton going to be looked at. Now, if Delton going to be the player to look at from FC Algeria, now who is going to be from the left side of the field in the attack to put the tension down on Delton so that the focus cannot be on Delton? Now, if you listen to the coach of MC Algeria, he was focused on few players. He spoke about Josiah Sie, he spoke of Theo and a few other players in the team. Now, he did not know that the FC Fasel had a player like, or has a player like Jadon Colley, who eliminates
Yes.
well. Somebody says he holds a ball, but I mean, if Jordan does not hold the ball, how does he cause havoc for the defense of the players, in fact, the opponents? So you could see Delton in that game. He proved himself. I think at some point he later on had that breakdown because you cannot have only a single player attacking. So at the end result, almost all of the balls were going to Delton because he was causing the danger for, or the danger. He was a danger man for FC Fasel. He was the most dangerous man on the attack. So until you can have another player like Delton, he's going to continue to suffer. Locally, yes, not much will be expected because our league, to some extent, we've not reached that level yet. So Delton may not have that kind of pressure because he's also going to have other creative midfielders or other creative players rather in the team. But on the continent, for Delton, he needs somebody to help him. Otales, no disrespect, he's a good player. But I think matching him and Delton, they still far apart. What Delton does for a 19-year-old to be doing that at the international scene is very welcoming. So I think Fasel needs it. Now, Eric spoke of Zach Ringer. No disrespect to Zach Ringer. Zach would have been introduced maybe in the 70th minute of the game. I think that would help. But Zach is not the kind of player that got that pace anymore, especially with probably the kind of system the coach was playing with. I think the coach needed more pressing, and he achieved that later on in the game. So maybe just at the latter end of the game, he needed Zach Ringer to come and see what happens. So no matter who you bring in the team as a striker, if you cannot have a kind of creative midfielder to play the ball in the final third, all of the strikers will continue to have issues on that team. I will not speak much to Blackman Warriors game because I was not fortunate. I had a very tight schedule that day, so I could not go to watch the game. But some part of the game that I saw online, I think they also lacked the same thing. They also lacked the same thing. The attack was a serious problem. Josephus is not there today. Josephus is not in the team today. He's there in Turkey. Is that Josephus? Is that his name, Josephus? What's his name?
Prince Mator.
Prince Mator, sorry. Prince Mator is all the way there in Turkey. Prince Mator has been one of the exceptional players. Somehow for them. So Prince Mator now leaving the team and going, I think it caused some serious problem for them. So we're looking forward to see what happens in the second leg. Maybe I guess in subsequent time we're going to talk about the second leg. But I think that's my own honest opinion when it comes to the FC Fasel team. But trust me, that team is strong. That team is well composed. Okay. If they continue like that, if FC Fasel maintains this coach, those kind of players that they need, FC Fasel is going to cause a shock.
Okay, so if you're just joining us, you're watching the program Exposed today live on Inter Exposed. I have with me my guest analyst who live joining us from our respected location. We analyzing what went wrong in Blackman Warrior game on Sunday and that of our MC Ojo and that of our Fasel match that was held on Saturday. The return leg will be this weekend, Saturday and Sunday respectively, in Porto Novo, Benin, and that of Alger in Algeria. Liberian champions FC Fasel must avoid defeat if they want to progress to the next round of the qualifying. Eric and that of Tomer Kennedy at my two guest analysts. They are all brilliant Liberian sports journalists. Tommy worked at Busher Radio. Eric Collins worked at Focal Radio, that's Focal FM, around the Topo Village area. They accepted the invitation. Now you listen to Eric. He gave his point of view concerning what went wrong. And I think, gentlemen, my observation was, I think Fasel FC head coach lacks the ability of substituting the rifle players for the rifle ones on the substitution bench. Majority of his substitution he made against MC Oja, from my observation, to me, wasn't well calculated. To me, it wasn't work. The issue of bringing Otale in, I think Otale should have come in the last 5 6-7 minutes of the game instead of him playing almost close to 20 minutes, because he spent less time on the pitch and he loses the ball more than any other player. I think, do you guys take observance of that?
Well, so I think for like I said, we cannot compare Otales and that of Delton. Delton is quite more mature. Delton has played on coaching. I mean, he's been though he's young, but we know that he started from down the line, so he has a bit of experience when it comes to that. Otales, on the other hand, I think he's still being nurtured in the process, so you may not expect more from him. And that was the big stage. So sometimes not every player will have that opportunity. Don't forget that was a continental tournament, and seeing the stadium the way it was, who knows? It may have played a part for. Though that should not be an excuse for a player at that international stage or at that stage, but I think Otales, he's a good player, but I think maybe some little work needs to be done on him. He's a good player. I think with time he's going to catch up. That's what I can say. But I'm not too sure he had a real terrible game. I think it was just some missteps along the way.
Okay, Eric.
Yeah, come again.
The introduction of Otale, he loses the ball more than any other player. I do believe that he should have been given at least 5 to 6 minutes instead of around 20-22 minutes.
You are a bit low, and I'm not really getting.
I'm talking about Otale here.
Yes.
He loses the ball during Fasel game and Ojo. He loses the ball more than any other player on the pitch.
Yes, the thing is, for Otales, we must not expect much at the moment. Though he's a good player, we have followed him locally over the years in our league, how well he played. But it is difficult, especially at that level. Like I said, not all players are mentally strong to just adapt. We follow that sometimes in other leagues, even across Europe. There are some players they leave from one league to another, but sometimes they take time to adjust. Adaptation becomes a problem. So introducing someone like Otale CA in such a game, especially with such a tempo, another thing, especially from where he came from, just from Ghana State FC in the second division league. I think, yes, we did not expect much at the time. I don't want to honorate his performance, but I think with time given to him, he's going to adjust and he's going to do more, because if Otale CA start to flow along, he got a start of play that is very good, I believe, because with his pace on the pitch, I think he's going to be a great help or impact to SC Fasel in the not too distant future. And what the coach needs to do sometime after the games, you have to get the players. I think the coach been doing that because he has an European orientation, showing them some of their mistakes on the pitch, watching the highlight to see where they have flaws and how best they can improve. I think with that, Otale CA will do better. But that game was just an introduction in the first major competition for Otale CA. Yes, I think, yes, I don't want to honorate him or judge him from that belief. As time goes by, he's going to get adjusted and he's going to be a good addition for SC Fasel.
Okay, gentlemen, let's move on to the next talking point. Eric, you broke the news of the LFA president watching the Fasel and MC Ojo game from the stands. Tomin also gave his own view on that issue. I want to hear you first. Tomin, the LFA president watching the Fasel match against MC Ojo from where the spectators, the open stands around the scoreboard area. What's your own observation? 1, 2, what do you think as a journalist should have been done in order to avoid another scenario like what happened on Saturday?
For me, I went on the field, and especially taking into consideration the kind of excitement, the build up to the game. So I never really had the time to visit the VVIP section. From outside the stadium where we were capturing some of those eye-catching movements to entering the stadium, following the team in terms of pace inspection up to warm up into the game, all true, especially as a photographer assigned around the perimeter. I never really had the time to visit the VVIP. But when this conversation sparked up regarding the president's absence, what I had to do was to launch an investigation. And reaching out from one person to another, it was when I was informed that the president actually showed up for the game, and there were some missteps along the way in terms of the privilege he's supposed to enjoy as a president, taking into consideration his portfolio as a president of the FA. There was no seat reserved for him in the VVIP section, and he felt disrespected. As such, he decided to watch the game from around the field with his family, which of course I demanded, and I got a video as an evidence to the effect that he was on the field. But whatever the case is, I think along the way, the coordination between the team and the FA, I think that's where the problem came from. There's somebody who want to talk about rivalry politics, but normally I don't like to dive into these political issues regarding the rivalry between the FA president and that of Mr. Cassell. But I think along the way, the club and the FA should have coordinated things, work together, like they inform us in the SWA chat room. They say all former officials of SWA, including executive from FA, other people, they will now apply for accreditation. Other things, they will be given access. In my mind, I think the president of the FA wasn't an exemption from that privilege. But what mattered most was the issue regarding the VVIP. I don't think FC Fasel as a club will decide to say former SWA officials should not apply, SWA current officials, other officials from LFA, and the president of the LFA be an exemption. So along the way, probably I cannot speak to whatever transpired along the way. That was the reason for which the president decided to watch the game from around the field. But I think it was not a good sign on the part of the president, to be honest, because they saw him show up at the same venue and was in the stand for the game between Blackman Warrior and Cotton FC. I believe sports is about unifying people, bringing people together. And when we have visitors here, especially with the match of its kind, the officials from our how you call it, the footballing set of our country, that is the FA president, the youth and sports minister, and other people that are involved, should be at the forefront, at least leading the charge so that other people can follow. Whatever happened in between, from one point to another, some day you will hear that the FA received 5 tickets. FC Fasel is saying we give XYZ amount of tickets to the FA to go to the game. There have been misinformation. Who's saying the truth or who's not saying the truth? But I think the president in his own wisdom, regardless of whatever happened along the way, should have thought it wise to say, yes, I think I'm the leader and I should be able to lead by example. Now, it raises eyebrows that you did not show up for FC Fasel. I mean, you show up for FC Fasel game, watch the game from around the field, but Blackman Warrior again, you was in attendance at the VVIP stadium. Somebody would say, yes, it was done on purpose. Again, we cannot tell what happened behind the scene, what Fasel is saying, whether it is true. But I think it's not a good sign for football in this country. One thing I must admit, you saw the FC Fasel game, how Liberians holistically supported Fasel. Almost all of the football fans in this country, I saw them on their Facebook page. Some of them even wore Fasel paraphernalia in support, identifying with the club. And I think that's how it should be. Whenever we have a representative participating in an international competition, all of us should join ranks to support that team. Today, if Fasel made it to the group stage of this CAF qualifying for our Champions League, it is a morale not just for FC Fasel, but it's a morale, it is a boost for Liberia as a country. So when we are divided when it comes to sport, and we all know around the world, sports is intended to unify people, bring people together. So we should not be using football or sport to tear ourselves apart. So almost all of the time, irrespective of whatever disagreement, but when it comes to these kind of international games, I believe we should not be divided. We should be together. We should hold together as a people. All of us should support. You saw the journalists, you saw the football fans, you saw the administrator of different football clubs buying tickets for their teams to go on the field to go support FC Fasel. I think that's how it should be. So whatever happened, like I said, I cannot speak to it, but I think in my wisdom, the president did not do well by sitting around the field for that game and the next day showing up in the VIP stand for the game with Blackman Warrior and that of Cotton FC.
Okay, Eric. Tommy, let's hear you. Eric, in your final conclusion, he think from his understanding that the LFA president did not do well by sitting from the VVIP stands. To me, let's hear you.
So, this is things that's very
To
difficult.
me, can you be audible a little bit?
Are you getting? Am I okay?
Can you just be audible? Just add a little bit volume to your voice.
Okay, so like I said, this is one of the most difficult things to talk about, and the reason why I think it's difficult is because I have to move around and actually a certain. I think I've got to do my own investigation. I need to know what exactly caused the FA president to leave the stands to go around the field to sit. Per what we're hearing and what we were told, because I've not been able to do my own independent investigation. I'm told that the president had gone at the VIP area and there was no seat. Or in fact, he sent a delegate and the delegate told him that there was no seat for him. So the FA president decided to go sit around the field. Now, if we have to go by that statement, then I'm not sure the FA president did well. And yes, the reason. If someone said it that no seat has been reserved for you, as the president of the Liberia Football Association, move there, get there. You get to that place and you find out that nobody has given you a seat. Sorry, if nobody has given you a seat to sit, then that can be a problem. But in as much as the president did not go there first, for what we heard, in as much as he did not go there first and they denied seat, then I mean, there's no justification for every president to go and sit around the field. Like he did for Black Man Warriors game. I thought it was important to go and sit there. I think that would have been a boost to him politically as per political let's sell into the 2026 LFA Congress. But if that's what happened, I'm not sure that every president did well.
I hope and pray that on Thursday I can get Anthony Kokwe. He's the head of media from the LFA, so we can talk about that. We lost to me, Eric. To me, just leave us. Let's. What's of you like? Liberia lost to Sierra Leone, the Senegal, Sierra Leone and Senegal in their first two opening match on the under 17 at the SKD practice pitch. Do you believe that our girls are more younger to face these two teams?
Just for me, I think there's still a bigger prospect ahead when it comes to women football in this country. But over the years, what we have failed to do is to the level of interest shown, the level of support, the level of sports development when it comes to women football in Liberia has been at the minimum level. Now, if you look at the preparation of the female under 17 national team as compared to the male under 17 national team during the time of then coach Ansu Keita, the former coach of the national team, you will notice that little or not has been done in terms of supporting women football development in this country. And that's why we are lacking over the years. We've seen our girls, they are still been putting in their best. This is about long-term program. The current team that you saw from Senegal, the Sierra Leone, and other countries that are participating in the competition, they have been preparing for a very longer period of time. Notice that what happened with Liberia, it was just of recent when we had to go participate in the competition. Then we started calling the players from one club to another. Yesterday, player was selected, and this other player was selected, and they will start training. The process is not like that. Grassroots football requires consistency because that's the foundation, right? You're talking about the under 17 level. So our girls over the years, have they been really training? Have they been playing together? This is a completely local squad. So why is it over the time we never had the girls at least training 1 or 2 times every month? to ensure that they can develop fully, they adapt to a particular style of play. Just recently, when we hear that we're participating in the WAFU competition, then the coach selected a player like the normal thing we do in Liberia. When we get 1-2 weeks of game, then the coach come out with short list, player go justify, he finish come out with the final list, and they go to competition. And you expect to go and defeat your opponent that have been preparing. No, it don't work like that. Sierra Leone has a functional under 17 female team. Senegal has a functional under 17 female team that they have been participating in competitions. Locally, they've been training together, preparing. Disappointingly, even at home, we cannot secure a job, least to talk about a win. It is disappointing for us as a country. I think we need to do more when it comes to women football. When it comes to male soccer, over the time we've been trying a bit. We saw it from Ansu Keita, his team, and looking at the prospect of that team, the number of players today who have gone at the professional level because of the kind of development that they have at that stage. But it's not done for the under 17 female national team. So we haven't done well for female football in this country, and that's why our team, in terms of performance, continue to perform poorly. So the government needs to do more than ever. We need to come up. There's a need for consistency, especially, women and men, they are not at the same level. Their pace is very low. So for them to be fully developed, they need more time. Unless a male who can just wake up in the community and start playing football, with the basic idea, the fundamentals and other things. But for women, it requires more development. So you need to spend more with them. I've always proposed this. The last time we had our, I think, under 20 or under 17 male team that should have gone to Ghana for competition. Since that competition was postponed, the under 20 team, all of the players went home. Nobody training again. They are not preparing. The next time we hear 2 weeks to the competition, the coach goes shortlist player again, and we start preparing 1 or 2 days to go and defeat other country. I think the process don't work that way. We need consistency in this team. Regularly, we need to have our girls training, playing. That's the only way they can be able to compete with the other countries.
To me, just before you left us, we were talking about the issue of the under 17 being defeated in that 2 opening matches in the ongoing under 17 WAFU tournament. I talk about beating the under 17. To me, you're smiling. What's your own observation? What do you think that the head coach need to do that we will play Senegal one more time? We will play Sierra Leone. I think it should be 2 games each. Yeah. What do you think our girls are lacking that we need to work on and come back quickly and get the double wins against Sierra Leone and Senegal?
So let me first start up by saying that the coach is doing well. Let me give it up for him, because if you look at this current under 17 squad, it's a whole brand new squad. There's no more Jessica Kuchi. You don't have the ones who once made headways with the under 17, under 20 team in that squad anymore. So it's a whole brand new squad. Now, second to that, I don't know, but this under 17 team has been practicing for a long time. If it is in terms of preparation, I'm not sure that this team, this coach just grabbed this team or just went and just took those girls and put them somewhere inside of the tree. Those girls been training for a long time, a very long time. In fact, to the best of my knowledge, the women's football has reached to a level now that even men's football is yet to reach. Those girls have been training for a long time. The only problem that I have, or the only thing that I've seen, is that I don't know what actually it is, or whether this testing thing ever went on in this tournament. But to be told, look at the under 17 team representing. Look at those girls representing Liberia. Compare it to that of Sierra Leone. I was just in the chat room, and we had some bit of disagreement on that, because I was saying that I agree with the coach. I agree with the coach when it comes to those kids. All right, the girls are under 17, right? They're actually under 17, or maybe 17 years old. But look at the Sierra Leone girls. Do player by player, match them, and see the difference. Somebody may claim that the girls from Sierra Leone have grown or outgrown. This is Africa. Not just Africa, this is West Africa. I want somebody to convince me that the under 17 girls of Sierra Leone are actually under 17. Let's bring that MRR test and conduct it. Let's do a test on them using that MRR and see as to whether most of the girls on that Sierra Leone team will not be disqualified. Now, we may have some little issues with the kids on their performance, but I think for me personally, I'm a bit impressed. I was not particular about the defeat. I'm just looking out. I just been looking at the way they compose themselves, the way they pass the ball, the mentality. That's what I'm quite concerned about. But on the issue of the defeat, yes, I mean it's a learning curve. It's going to continuously be a learning curve. The fact that we have a brand new under 17 team that we just started up with, I don't expect magic to be performed now. Maybe we'll have to give it up. This thing about wanting to achieve, in less than a year, even if we prepare, or wanting to get at the bigger stage in 2-3 years, it's going to be a problem. Let's look at Uzbekistan for this. Let's look at Uzbekistan. Today, Uzbekistan has qualified for the 2026 World Cup. You know when Uzbekistan started to prepare? You know when that country started preparing? Today we see Kasanov playing for Manchester City. Who's from Uzbekistan? All right, who's from Uzbekistan? Look at the structure. The FA Uzbekistan decided years back, I think that was somewhere around 2015 or 2016. They said, well, we need to be at the 2026 World Cup. We got to do everything it takes to be at the 2026 World Cup. They built stadium. They started to form the different teams. They didn't rush them. They didn't say out of compulsion, the under 17 team must qualify to this one. They didn't say the under 20 team must qualify. They started to build. So youth teams got to be built. It's a process. Today we can boast of the past under 17 team headed by what's his name, Ansu Keita. Look at the kids now. What is this lad today? Emmanuel Foley. He's with Slavia Prague. Where is
Jonathan
what's his name? Jonathan Freeman.
Jonathan Freeman.
Canesco. Yeah, Jonathan Freeman. Let's look at Canesco. Where's Canesco? Let's look at Emmanuel Sie. Where is Emmanuel Sie? So this is a process. If we say we want to rush on a 17 team, we want to on a 10 to rush on a 20 team, they will not ready yet. Let's build this case. Let's give them time. What the FA is doing, I must commend them. Thanks so much to James Salensa Diva and that of our former goalkeeper Nathaniel Sherman, who are doing well with the talent development scheme and stuff. Wanting to scout players for the different tournaments or the different teams, national teams. We have to focus on that. Not to focus now. Me in my mind, if we have a balance from the different youth teams, right? From the under 10, the under 15, the under 17. And we have a plan and say in 2028 for us, Liberia will qualify for the African Cup of Nations. Then we have a plan. We say this breed of team, we're not leaving them. We're going to keep them together from now to 2026. Some of those kids who are under 15 will be not 2026, rather 2028. Some of the kids who are under 15 today will be somewhere around 18 years. Then you're building a team. How did Uzbekistan reach this level? They reached this level because they had a future plan, not a current plan or not a present plan. So until we scratch that out, we'll continue to hurt our head. And so the under team or the under 20 team or this under team is not performing. For me, that's how I see it. Let's have a plan. As the FA is doing now, I must commend them. Let's have a set plan and say that at this point in time, we'll have to do this. The FA cannot do this alone. The government has to support. Everything that's happening now with the youth teams is just about the Liberia Football Association. What happens to the government of Liberia? What are they doing also? They've got to support the youth teams. And that's what we're going to get.
No money. No
money. Yeah, that's syndrome. No money syndrome. How you think Keita was able to succeed? Keita succeeded when they took the under 17 team out of this country. They took them out on a training camp.
Yeah, we went to Australia.
Exactly. What will it take to get some of these kids? Look, let's look into the league, get a strong under 17 team. Mustafa has a connection. Mustafa Raji could talk to the Moroccan Federation president and say, Chief, I want my team to come. I want my under 17 team to come down there to spend maybe the next 6, 7, 8 months to train. Or you say, let's have a 2-year plan. Take this team there. I tell you no lie, the Moroccan FA president will agree to Mustafa Raji. But does he have the money as the FA president to send a team there? No. It needs government support. I heard that there was a plan submitted to the government of Liberia, a whole plan by the president of the Liberia Football Association. What has happened to that plan? What is the government doing about that plan? So we'll continue to complain.
No money, so the plan can work.
So it's an audio play.
But
It's an audio play.
gentlemen, I really appreciate. We go 11 minutes into another time. I just hope and pray that we can have this kind of discussion on the usual basis, at least probably one time in a week, so we can just do a round rabbit about these developments of sport in our country, Liberia. I really appreciate you guys so much because we just have to go home. We got 11 minutes addition time, not 11 but 12 now. But I really appreciate the two of you so much for coming on live. I hope on Thursday I can get you guys, and then we can look at the possibility of FC Fasio and Blackman Warrior going to the next round, and then also we can talk about the LFA upcoming Super Cup because we're not far from the 5th of October. The league will start in 3 weeks' time. There's no fixture. We don't know who are the, I don't know what how to pull it. So these are things I want us to look at when we come back on Thursday. I hope and pray you guys can accept our invitation. If you want to come in studio, Sports Extra will really appreciate your presence. If you want us to do it like the way we did today, I will really appreciate your presence. But just before we go, let's just get you guys parting comments, and then we call it a day. Beginning with Eric, our sub-militant.
Yeah. So yes, again, I want to appreciate the opportunity afforded us on the platform to talk about Liberian football development in Liberia. I think it's quite wonderful, and I also want to appreciate Tommy, who's always providing the platform too. There we can always have our time to talk about this, and I look forward to more of such. Like you said, almost all of the times, at least we can have these visiting from one station to another, because too, we as media practitioners play a very important role in the development of sports in every country. We use our platform, our voices to elevate the debate, to advocate for the betterment of football. Some of the things we say on the radio at times, the football officials listen to us, and sometimes they add upon that, and that's where we see things start to change around. So we should not get tired of this. I think we should continue to do this, Football is getting better in Liberia, and we hope to get there one day.
Thank you so much, Eric. Let's hear you, Chief.
Yeah. So again, thanks for the opportunity. I'm free Tuesdays from 10 o'clock. So we can do this. The only sticker issue there is to get me in studio Tuesday by the morning hours will be difficult because this morning I was on my show when you texted me. I didn't want to say no to you. So thankfully he said 10 past 10 and my show ends at 10. So right after my show, I had to jump here so that we can have this conversation. But I think it is important. It's going to help the stakeholders to know what to do with our little pieces of advice and our little opinions and how we understand the game. I think it's going to help them a lot to grow. Thanks again. We're open Thursday. Just a reminder, and we're going to reveal ourselves.
Thank you so much, gentlemen. Sports Extra stands. Thanks and appreciation to you guys for coming up. See you on Thursday, by God's willing, and wishing you guys a wonderful Tuesday morning from Pinzo City, the best city in Liberia.
Bye-bye.
So, well, thanks to our guest analysts who joined us from their respective location. You listen to them. We won't try to do this so we can get other journalists' view on certain topics, and then we can push and push and push. Together, we can make Liberia great again. Like the rest of the country we have. Thanks you so much to our production team, Clarence Dolo. Your launch is on me. As a bravo to you, to fellas, we up here, Victor Freeman, Chief Bacchus, Benito, all of you guys. The launch will be provided by me. So we did a wonderful job today. Thanks you so much for watching. Join us on tomorrow, Wednesday, same time, same station, for another brand new edition of the program, Sports Extra. Or better stay, join us on Thursday or Friday for the weekend edition. I'm Edwin Butterfly. Thank you so much for watching. Bye-bye from Painesville.
Mary Sports provides you with the opportunity to interact directly with the stakeholders in the sector, the players, teams, including technicians. It comes your way once a week, every Wednesday